could have done anything he turned his hand to, because he was so charismatic and he was so quick-witted, and he was just, but as much to the point, he was just a brilliant manager, miles and miles ahead of his time, and knew about players, knew about what they thought, what would be good for them mostly. And while I felt that he maybe could have dished out a little bit more praise in my direction, that was all. And I felt that I might have responded even better to that there. I think he saw a different side to me, and I think he felt that tough love was what was necessary. And you know what? I have to say, Paul, he might even have been right. But eventually, it didn't matter to me, honestly, if we were going to win and I was going to be playing in the side and I was going to be involved in these big games. You couldn't really ask for much more than that.
Yeah, like, because you make that point in the book, is that you missed out obviously on the first European Cup, and you felt as though your chance was gone. You played the one against Hamburg, the one with Kevin Keegan captain in Hamburg, and then a half time in the game, this bit stood out to me, is the fact that he wanted to make a positional switch, I think he said in the book, and then you volunteered basically to do that, and he was like, no, you're playing perfectly fine when you are. And you go on to say then that was you've been waiting all this time for him to give you this praise, and then he did it on the biggest probably stage of them all, and then that kind of fired you up then to go out to the second half.
It's absolutely true, but absolutely, honestly, I felt, and it's like reliving the minute, the moment when you just mentioned it, and it's genuinely, it's like yesterday to me. No, he was. We scored the goal. We were leading. We were second favourites in the game, even though we were reigning champions, because Hamburg had Kevin Keegan, as you mentioned, Footballer of the Year, I think the previous year, and a host of German internationals playing. And we had lost Trevor Francis, our main goal scorer, to injury a couple of weeks earlier. We had to play a young kid in the side. So the odds were against us at the time. But we'd scored first in the match through John Robertson. And then Hamburg were starting to get the upper hand. But we were we were strong mentally as a side. But we were definitely under pressure in the last 15 minutes before half-time. So he waited until half-time and he wanted to make some adjustments to the team. And then when I kind of volunteered I don't know why I volunteered, and he said, no, you stay there. You're doing brilliantly, son. And it was a massive lift. It was I just really could not wait to get out for the second half, because the manager thinks you're doing wonderfully well. And in the scheme of things, I might have been doing wonderfully well defensively for him, because I was getting back and getting some challenges in. But we had been under the cosh for the previous 15 minutes, so that was tough. It wasn't as if to say you're going up and dribbling past 3 or 4 players. It was the work that I was doing, getting back into positions, covering, and then getting a challenge in. So I think all of those things, I must admit, those are the type of things that our manager looked for in those days, because he felt that if you are doing that sort of work, then what can you not do? What can you not do then when you do have the ball? So that was a big moment. As you say, I wait all these years for that sort of praise, and then it comes in the final of the European Cup.
I suppose it helped you get over the line, so it was worth the moment itself.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It didn't mean that we weren't under a bit of pressure in the second half. We were, as Hamburg charged forward, but we still had a strong mindset, which was really important. That's something that I'm sure that the manager gave us. But we had some really fine players. Peter Shilton made a couple of really good saves as well too. And we held on in the game, where we definitely had let me put it this way: Hamburg for most of the game would have much more possession than we did. But once we got in front, Hamburg knew it, that we would be hard to break down.